Have you ever looked at an old Singapore banknote and thought, is this just paper money or could it be something special? Today we are talking about the Singapore $10 banknote from 1967, a note that has surprised many collectors around the world. In international auctions, some rare examples of this banknote have sold for thousands of dollars, depending on condition, serial number, and special features. Not every note is valuable, but the right one can be very interesting for collectors. This banknote comes from Singapore's first currency series after independence, making it historically important. The design reflects the early vision of a new nation, and that history is one big reason why collectors still search for it today. Over time, many notes were used in daily life, so finding a well-preserved piece is not easy. In this video, I will explain why this 1967 banknote matters, what makes some notes more valuable than others, and what kind of errors or features collectors look for. I will also share a clear and safe selling guide, so you understand how people legally sell banknotes through trusted platforms and auctions. If you are a beginner or just curious, this video will help you learn step by step. So watch till the end, because this old $10 note might have a story you never expected. A symbol of a nation, Singapore $10 banknote explained, "The Singapore $10 banknote you are seeing belongs to the famous Portrait series, a modern series that was first introduced in 1999. This series was designed to reflect Singapore's national identity, values, and progress as a country. It is one of the most recognized banknote series among collectors and everyday users alike." On the obverse front side, the most striking feature is the portrait of Yusof bin Ishaq, the first president of Singapore. His image represents unity, leadership, and the early foundation of the nation. In the top left corner, you can see the Singapore coat of arms, showing a lion and a tiger, along with the national motto, Majulah Singapura, which means Onward Singapore. This motto reflects hope, growth, and national pride. The denomination 10 is clearly printed, along with the words $10, making the value easy to identify. The banknote also carries the signature and official seal of the chairman of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which in this case is Hu Tao. For security and identification, each note has unique alphanumeric serial numbers, printed both horizontally and vertically. On the reverse, backside, the theme is sports, symbolizing health, teamwork, and an active lifestyle. The design shows 5 sporting activities: football, badminton, jogging, sailing, and swimming. Together, these images reflect Singapore's focus on discipline, balance, and community spirit. Across the top, the word Singapore is printed boldly, completing a design that is both meaningful and visually powerful. Rare errors that changed everything. High-value auction stories of the 1967 Singapore $10 banknote. When people hear that an old banknote sold for thousands of dollars, it often sounds unbelievable. However, in the world of banknote collecting, rare errors and unusual features can completely change the value of a note. Here we are only focusing on rare error examples of the Singapore $10 1967 banknote, not normal circulated notes. It is also very important to understand that values depend on rarity, condition, demand, and verification, and not every note with a small flaw is valuable. Over the years, collectors and auction records have shown that certain 1967 Singapore $10 banknotes with major printing or production errors have reportedly sold for hundreds, thousands, and in extremely rare cases, much higher amounts. These prices are usually seen in private sales or international auctions, where serious collectors compete for unique pieces. One commonly discussed high-value category is the mismatch serial number error. In very rare cases, the horizontal serial number does not match the vertical serial number on the same banknote. For the 1967 Singapore $10 note, examples of this error have been reported in specialist auctions, with prices starting from around $500 to $2,000, depending on condition and clarity of the mismatch. These notes are valuable because serial numbers are strictly controlled, and mistakes are usually destroyed before release. Another rare and highly desired error is the missing or incomplete print error. Some 1967 notes have been reported where a major design element, such as part of the background pattern, denomination text, or an emblem, is faint, missing, or clearly incomplete. When such errors are confirmed by professional graders, auction prices have reportedly reached $3,000 to $10,000, especially when the rest of the note is well preserved. Collectors value these because they show a clear failure in the printing process. A more dramatic example is the off-center or misaligned print error. In these cases, the main design is noticeably shifted to one side, cutting off parts of the artwork while leaving large blank margins on the opposite side. For the 1967 Singapore $10 banknote, extreme off-center errors are extremely rare. According to reported auction discussions, such notes have sold in the range of $5,000 to $25,000, depending on how dramatic the shift is and whether all design elements are still visible. One of the most talked about error types among advanced collectors is the double print or overprint error. This happens when parts of the design are printed twice, creating shadow-like images or overlapping text. For the 1967 issue, clear double print errors are very scarce. In documented auction environments, these notes have reportedly achieved prices between $10,000 and $40,000, particularly when the error is strong and easily visible without magnification. Another rare category involves wrong paper or paper fold errors. In some reported cases, the banknote paper was folded during printing, leaving blank or distorted areas once unfolded. For a 1967 Singapore $10 note, a genuine fold-over error that affects the portrait or denomination can attract serious attention. Auction examples discussed by collectors suggest values ranging from $15,000 up to $60,000, provided the note remains authentic and unaltered. There are also ink smearing and ink color shift errors, where ink spreads abnormally or appears in incorrect shades. While minor smudges are common and not valuable, major ink displacement affecting key elements of the note is rare. Verified examples of the 1967 $10 banknote with strong ink errors have reportedly sold for $8,000 to $30,000, especially when the portrait of Yusuf bin Ishaq is affected in a clear and unusual way. Some of the highest value examples come from unique error combinations. These are notes that show more than one major error, such as a serial number mismatch combined with an off-center print. Such pieces are often described as one of a kind or extremely few known. In private sales and elite auctions, collectors have reportedly paid $50,000 to over $100,000 for these exceptional 1967 Singapore $10 banknotes. At the very top end of the market, there are legendary auction stories often discussed among advanced collectors. In a few widely shared reports within the numismatic community, exceptionally rare error specimens of the 1967 Singapore $10 note, verified, graded, and linked to known printing batches, have been rumored and reported to reach values well into six figures. In extreme cases, prices approaching $400,000 have been mentioned in private treaty sales between elite collectors. These cases are not common, and they usually involve museum-level rarity, perfect documentation, and intense competition. It is crucial to understand that these high prices do not apply to normal circulated notes. A regular 1967 Singapore $10 banknote, even in decent condition, does not fall into this category. The values discussed here are linked only to rare, clearly visible, professionally verified errors. Collectors also know that grading and authentication play a major role. A rare error note without professional verification may struggle to reach high prices. Auction houses and buyers rely on trusted grading companies to confirm that an error is genuine and not caused by damage after printing. Another important factor is market demand. Even a rare error may sell for less if fewer collectors are interested at that time. On the other hand, when demand is strong, prices can rise sharply. This is why auction results can vary widely. In summary, the Singapore $10 1967 banknote has shown that rare errors can transform an ordinary-looking note into a highly valuable collectible. From $500 level serial number mistakes to six-figure legendary error pieces, these examples highlight why collectors carefully examine every detail. However, values are never guaranteed, and proper research, authentication, and professional guidance are always essential before buying or selling such banknotes. Protecting history. How to safely preserve your banknote. Proper care is very important if you own a Singapore $10 1967 banknote, especially if it may have a rare feature or error. The first rule is never clean or wash the banknote. Cleaning can damage the paper and ink, and it can seriously reduce collector interest. Always handle the note with clean, dry hands, or use cotton gloves to avoid oils and fingerprints. Store the banknote in a protective, acid-free sleeve made for paper currency. Avoid plastic holders that contain PVC, as they can slowly damage the paper over time. Keep the note flat, not folded, and place it in a cool, dry location away from direct sunlight, heat, and humidity. Do not write on the sleeve or place heavy objects on top of the banknote. If possible, store it separately from regular cash to prevent accidental use. Proper storage helps maintain condition, protects historical value, and ensures that the banknote remains attractive to collectors and grading companies in the future. Why grading matters. Understanding professional banknote evaluation. Grading plays a very important role in the value and trust of collectible banknotes, especially for rare pieces like the Singapore $10 1967 banknote. Grading is the process where an independent professional company carefully examines a banknote to confirm its authenticity, condition, and any genuine errors. This helps collectors and buyers clearly understand what they are purchasing. Professional grading companies use internationally recognized standards. Some of the most trusted names in banknote grading include PMG, Paper Money Guarantee, PCGS Banknote, and PMG Asia, which are widely respected by collectors, auction houses, and museums. When a banknote is graded, it is placed in a tamper-evident protective holder with a detailed label showing the grade, serial number, and any verified error description. Grading is important because condition directly affects value. Small differences such as folds, stains, edge wear, or ink marks can significantly change a banknote's market price. A professionally graded note removes confusion by providing a clear, neutral assessment. This is especially important for rare error banknotes, where expert confirmation is needed to prove that the error happened during printing and was not caused later. Another key benefit of grading is buyer confidence. Auction houses and serious collectors prefer graded banknotes because they reduce risk. A graded 1967 Singapore $10 note is easier to sell, easier to insure, and often attracts stronger bidding in auctions. In many cases, grading can help a rare note reach its full market potential. Grading also protects your banknote physically. The sealed holder shields it from dust, moisture, fingerprints, and accidental damage. This long-term protection is important if you plan to keep the banknote as an investment or family collectible. It is important to note that grading does not guarantee a specific price. Market demand, rarity, and timing still matter. However, grading provides transparency, credibility, and protection, making it a smart step for anyone serious about collecting or selling valuable banknotes. How to sell a rare banknote safely and responsibly. Selling a rare banknote like the Singapore $10 1967 requires patience, research, and the right approach. This is especially true if your note has a verified rare error. The first step is to confirm authenticity and condition. If possible, get the banknote professionally graded by a trusted grading company. A graded note is easier to explain, easier to trust, and more attractive to serious buyers. Before selling, take time to research recent auction results and market trends. Look for comparable examples of the same banknote and similar errors. This helps you understand realistic price ranges and avoids disappointment. Remember, asking prices and actual selling prices can be very different. Once you understand the market, choose the right selling platform. High-value banknotes are usually sold through established auction houses, where experienced bidders compete. Auctions offer transparency and professional handling, but they also charge seller fees. Another option is selling through reputable dealers, who may offer a direct purchase. This method is faster, but prices can be lower because dealers need room for resale. Private sales between collectors are also possible, but they require caution. Always use secure payment methods, clear written agreements, and, when possible, trusted intermediaries. Never rush into a sale based on pressure or unrealistic promises. Genuine collectors and buyers allow time for verification and discussion. Clear and honest description is very important. Always describe the banknote accurately, including grade, condition, and any verified errors. Avoid exaggerated claims. Transparency builds trust and protects you from disputes later. If shipping the banknote, use insured and trackable services. Proper packaging is essential to prevent damage during transit. Keep records of communication, invoices, and shipping details for your own protection. Finally, understand that the market can change. A rare banknote may take time to find the right buyer. Selling responsibly means being informed, patient, and realistic. By following these steps, you can protect yourself, respect collecting standards, and give your banknote the best chance to be sold safely and legally. Where collectors buy and sell. Trusted auction houses. Choosing the right auction house is very important when selling a rare banknote like the Singapore $10 1967. Internationally, some well-known and trusted auction houses include Spink, Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and Baldwin's. These companies have long experience in paper money auctions and attract serious collectors from around the world. For Singapore and the regional market, Spink Singapore is one of the most recognized names, regularly handling Southeast Asian banknotes. Other regional auction platforms and licensed dealers in Singapore also work closely with international collectors, providing local expertise and global reach. Using established auction houses helps ensure professional cataloging, authentication checks, and secure transactions. While auction fees apply, the transparency and exposure often lead to stronger buyer confidence and better results for rare and high-quality banknotes. Your turn to decide. The Singapore $10 1967 banknote is more than just old paper money. It represents history, national identity, and for collectors, the possibility of rare discoveries. As you have seen in this video, only very rare and verified error banknotes have achieved high prices in auctions, while normal notes remain common. Knowledge, research, and professional guidance are always the key. If you own an old banknote, take your time. Do not rush to sell, do not clean it, and always try to learn more about its condition and features. The world of banknote collecting rewards patience and correct information. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which banknote or coin analysis do you want next? Do you want a detailed video on another Singapore banknote, rare world currency errors, grading comparisons, or how auctions really work step by step? You can also suggest specific years, denominations, or countries for analysis. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe to Coin Capital. Your support helps the channel grow and allows me to bring more honest, research-based, and easy-to-understand content for collectors like you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.